the project was conceptualized from the understanding that within the context of Africa, there has been a growing trend in the number of clinical trials being conducted. With this trend, the need for research ethics committees that can be able to conduct robust ethics review is growing day by day. As REAI expert, we have been supporting research ethics committees through our existing platform, which is known as RHInnO Ethics. It is an online cloud-based platform which helps research ethics committees to receive protocols from applicants or researchers, process these applications, and review these applications online, and eventually submitting their recommendations or their reviews online. We have used this platform for the last 1 decade. With now the invent of AI, we felt that as much as the platform was helping to structure the views or the reviews of research ethics committees, there was a gap in terms of the demand by research ethics committees to invest time and energy to read all the protocols, and sometimes very complex protocols, before they can submit their views. So we thought one way to fill in this gap is we could leverage the AI capacities in order to help to process these applications, to synthesize them, and be able to support in providing suggestions in the decisions about these clinical trials. So that was the background to the project. We set out to leverage the AI capacities to ensure that the platform that we have been using for the last decade, that is the RHInnO Ethics platform, can be able to be integrated with an AI model so that it can be able to synthesize the responses from researchers and from reviewers, and provide suggestions that can help to speed up the review process and make the review process more consistent and more efficient. That's the background to the project.
That's a very interesting question, and a really relevant question. The reviewers working on the REAI Ethics platform spent so many months to review an application. By using this artificial intelligence component that has now been integrated with the platform, it will reduce reviewing time drastically. We believe that once everything is running smoothly with the system, and we are getting there, time will be reduced to 1 to 4 weeks for a reviewer, instead of spending months and sometimes up to 2 years to get a review done. We must also bear in mind that the reviewers are doing this work pro bono, and we are really making their lives easier. So everybody can benefit from this system at the end of the day. If the reviewers can speed up their processes, the researchers can continue with their work, and at the end of the day, the health sector will benefit from this system.
Thank you for the question. All right, so to start with, I would want to emphasize the fact that AI is here to stay. We have moved from analog to internet to computers, and now we have AI as the new kid on the block. We have obviously many concerns about AI. There are so many people who have reservations about the capacities of AI, but also the potential risks that of using AI. But over and beyond that, we know that with all the euphoria, with all the technology advancement, AI is here to stay. And we are taking advantage of this because we know the existing gaps in the ethics review space. We know that if you are to give your proposal to a number of ethics review committees and ask them to review exactly the same proposal, there are chances that one of these, some of these committees will approve your proposal. Some of them will, reject the proposal in totality. Some of them will make recommendations about what you need to edit, what you need to change. That might vary from one committee to the other. What this means is there is no consistency in the review process. The model that every ethics committee is using is different. And if you look at that from the context of consistency, but also the potential to expose research participants to risk, then you realize that the more we make the review process more consistent and more predictable, the better and the safer for research participants. So the use or the integration of AI into with the REAINO ethics platform is basically to take advantage of that. We know that when we are using AI and when we get to the level where reviews done by AI are 100% perfect, then that's really the game changer, because we know in the event that an ethics committee is busy or does not have the right competency or adequate competency to review a certain protocol, for any reason for that matter, then the AI can come in and fill in that gap. So that is the environment where we envisage, where if you take, for example, during COVID, a lot of the ethics committees stopped functioning because they did not have the right competency or right knowledge to be able to interrogate some of the very complex proposals and clinical trials that were being suggested. A lot of the research ethics committees in Africa, for example, relied a lot on external reviewers who are domiciled in the global north. If we have an AI that is able to provide that particular kind of support, then it means ethics review in Africa is more consistent, it is more reliable, and does not necessarily have to depend on support from the global south. And that is where we are moving, because as the number of clinical trials increase, and as more and more infectious outbreaks and pandemics, as we expect will be here, it might be not next year, but we know that there is likelihood that there will be another pandemic or another outbreak. These scenarios will repeat themselves, and therefore the integration of AI into the platform or the review cycle basically helps us to manage that kind of a situation if it arises. It will help us to do expedited review in the event that we want to do very quick turnaround review, because the AI will be there whether reviewers are fatigued, whether reviewers cannot review a protocol for any reason or another. The AI will always be there, and it will be consistent. So it will not be able to give different views for any application. It will be the same throughout, as long as it is well trained and it is able to make the right predictions, which is that journey that we have started.
At the moment, we have more than 30 research ethics committees on the African continent who are making use of the platform. I think that is testimonial enough at the moment. Of course, we would like to take it even further, the uptake of the platform, but slowly but surely we are getting there. And now with the enhancement of the platform, it can only get better for many users on the African continent.
All right, so what are the successes of the REAINO ethics platform? REAINO ethics was established in 2012, the year 2012. Then all the committees in Africa were using the manual system. The manual system entailed researchers developing protocols, printing in hard copies, traveling sometimes very long distances to where the ethics committee is hosted, and delivering those files. Once that is done, the committee through the secretariat would look at the application, then they would dispatch those applications to the reviewers. Sometimes these reviewers would be living in different regions altogether. And that would then mean the process from submitting the protocol all the way to when the final decision is made is very, very long. Sometimes it would take a year. For more complex clinical trials, it would take more than a year. With now the introduction of the REAINO ethics platform, which means a researcher does not have to leave their desk. Within the click of a button, you are able to submit your protocol to the relevant committee, and instantly you receive a confirmation that your protocol has been submitted. At the same time, immediately you submit it, the administrator receives a notification that you have an application that is waiting for your review. They quickly do the internal checks and then dispatch that application to the reviewer. So you imagine a situation where if everyone is seated on their desk at that point in time, the entire cycle can take less than 10 minutes to complete, because you submit, the administrator quickly confirms that all the documents have been attached, and then they dispatch that to the reviewer. And if the reviewer is there to do the review, the entire process can take less than a week, okay, or at maximum 2 weeks. This is now the revolution that the REAINO ethics platform has brought since it was introduced. The uptake has been very slow, I must say, because we started off in 2012 with no committee. Now we are talking about 32. 32 committees in Africa spread in 11 countries can sound very small. But if you look at a situation where no committee was using an online review system at that time, and all the hesitance around cloud-based systems and the use of online system, that has been a milestone. So the use of REAINO ethics, just ensuring that at least 32 committees are using online system which is secure, which is safe, it is easy to track application, that on its own is a milestone. But the actual revolution of the REAINO ethics platform rests on the turnaround time. So if you imagine, I was just talking about a situation where an application could take up to 6 months, sometimes 1 year, and at most sometimes 3 years for very complex clinical trials. My own application when I was doing my master's took up to 9 months before I could receive the approval to conduct my research. That was the situation then. So the REAINO ethics is able to send instant real-time notification. So it doesn't matter where you are, you receive a notification on your phone and you are able to go to the platform and start working on that action that has been assigned to you. That trigger of the notification alone helps you to be reminded that there's something that you need to work on. And that basically means the time from submission to the final decision is reduced significantly. In addition, the REAINO ethics platform uses a very standard questionnaire. So every other committee amongst all the 32 committees that are using the platform will be exposed to exactly the same questions. The applicants will respond to the same questions. The reviewers will look at exactly the same questions depending on what application they're looking at. What that means is there's standardization across board. All the committees are basically looking at the same thing. They're thinking about the same ethical issues. That on its own is a revolution, because previously what used to happen is every committee would receive an application, they would use their own ways of reviewing. Some of them responded to just 3 questions, do you approve? Yes, without any meaningful structured review. That now is long gone with the introduction of the REAINO ethics platform. The REAINO ethics platform forces applicants to already think about the ethical issues around the applications, but also forces reviewers to think about the ethical issues about the protocols that they are reviewing, as well as the scientific validity of the protocols. And therefore, that standardization and, if you like, harmonization of the ethics review is a game changer in the ethics environment. Now, with the enhancement and the introduction of the AI, as I said, this is a real revolution, because not only are we dependent on human reviewers to review these protocols and make sense of the protocols, and even, if you like, some of the ethical issues, ethical dilemmas that are presented in some of these protocols, and some of just synthesizing the complex nature of some of these protocols. The AI is able to do that for you. So right from summarizing a protocol from, say, 10,000 pages to 20 pages, it basically means a reviewer is able to review and read this protocol when their attention span is still very high. So you read 20 pages, which is a summary provided by the AI, and then the AI provides a synthesis of every question that has been responded to by the applicant. It is able to say, this question, the respondent or the applicant responded in a manner that suggests it is okay or it is not okay, before it provides a verdict or a final decision on whether that protocol can be approved or not. That's really, really important, because if you look at it from the perspective of a 1,000-page protocol that can be reviewed for months before the reviewer is able to submit their comments, or sometimes even years, the AI is able to turn that around into just a number of hours. Within 2 hours or so, you have a summary, you have a synthesis, and you have a decision. Then the most exciting thing, it is then over to you as a reviewer to take. It does not make the final decision. So it provides it to you to say, here is what I'm suggesting as the AI. Then the human reviewer then has to check that or leave it. But even if they were to leave it, that summary, the synthesis, goes a long way in simplifying the work of the reviewer. So much so that if you are thinking about reading 1,000 pages, in that process you would lose focus. Maybe you read it so many days. You read today, you go away, you read another day, you go away, after 1 week you come and read. Just the flow, the consistency and the coherence of that particular review is broken in between. But the AI is able to do that in 1 hour, in 2 hours, and provide it to you, and then helps you to make the suggestions, and then it's up to you to accept or edit or reject, which is really, really awesome. So for me, these are the benefits that come with the platform, let alone the fact that you can generate statistics that can tell you this is what is happening in your dashboard at any one given time. So you can use these statistics to inform you whether you're performing well as a committee, but also just to tell you what kind of applications are being submitted, what that means in terms of the capacity of the committee. And then again, it's up to you then to take action whether you want to build the capacity of the committee because of the statistics that are being presented, or take any action for that matter. For me, those are the benefits that come with the platform, but more so with the integration of the AI